This is a video on how to do a delivery on a 2018 Toyota 4Runner. As with every delivery, the first thing you want to do is pair the customer's phone to the Bluetooth system. So first you'll go to the customer's phone, go to their settings, and then from here you'll go to Bluetooth, turn on the Bluetooth, and from the car you'll click the phone button here, click yes, and from this screen it will pop up on the phone in just a few seconds. And then you'd select 4Runner, and then you would click allow, and after that there will be a pop-up on the car screen asking to allow text messages to come through. With iPhones, you have to click this blue circle next to connected and turn on show notifications in order to allow the text messages to pop up on the screen. So the first thing we like to go over is the audio. If you click this top right source button, you have AM, FM, and 3 free months of satellite XM. After the 3 months, XM will call the customer and ask them if they would like to set up a subscription. You can if you want to. If you don't, it'll just stop working on the vehicle. You also have Bluetooth audio, so you can play music wirelessly, CD option up here, and you also have USB and auxiliary ports down here if you'd like to plug in a device to listen to it. So with FM, you have the station list button at the bottom. You can select that and it'll list out all the stations in different genres. If you click a genre, it'll show you the stations that play in that specific genre. And then you also have this pause button. You can pause the radio, and then whenever you're done doing whatever you're doing, you can click play. It'll play from where it left off, kind of like a DVR for your radio. And then under sound, you can adjust the sound levels however you prefer. Now, if you'd want to save a radio station, what you would do is go to the station and just click and hold, and after you hear the beep, it'll save. You have 36 different spots on here that you can save AM, FM, and XM. Now, with this vehicle, it has the Toyota Entune app suite, so what you'll have to do from the customer's phone is download Toyota Entune. Keep in mind this is different from Toyota Entune 3.0, so with this vehicle, I already have Entune downloaded and have an account with them. If you haven't already set up an account for your customer, you can do so through the app. There's a little sign up button at the bottom. Keep in mind you will need the VIN number in order to make an account. Now I'm just going to disconnect for a second. This is what it looks like when it's not connected to the vehicle. If the customer would like to pair up their Pandora, iHeartRadio, or Slacker, you'll have to click this bottom right settings button and then click account linking, and then you would select which account that they would like to connect and type in their email and password for that specific account. As you can see, I already have all of mine loaded, so we'll click back and go back to connect to vehicle, and now whenever it's on this screen, that means it's connected. So from the audio screen here, you can go over to Pandora if you have Pandora, and it'll load all your favorite stations there instead of having to pull the phone out in order to play any Pandora. So if you click on apps, this is what pops up. Under apps, you have your navigation. So if you select navigation, most people would like that compass facing the same direction as the car, so it'll turn with the car while you're driving. If you click this destination button at the bottom, you can select address, and from here is where you would type in an address where you would like to go. You would just click select state and click city and start typing it in. It predicts what you're typing, so it blacks out all the other letters, and whenever it asks you for street name, you're going to want to enter in the street name without the house number first, and then you'll enter in the house number right afterward. Now, with any address that you put in, whenever you select the address, it'll have this mark button. If you click mark, it'll save in your address book. You have up to 100 different addresses that you can save in your address book, which is located right here on the main screen. And I'm just going to go ahead and delete this out. You would just select delete, pick which one you want to delete, and click delete. Now you have the 100 free spaces still in the address book. Here you have point of interest. You can click point of interest and click name or phone number and type in a business name or phone number, and it'll look up the location. Or you can click category over here and then select near here. It looks up nearby categories. And then you also have the Go Home button on the bottom left. If you click that, it'll ask you to set a home address. If you set your home address, you can click this button and it'll immediately put in your home address no matter where you're at. You also have these 1 through 5 spots down at the bottom to where you can set different addresses such as work or family members if you'd like. So you also have previous destinations here, so if you have entered any addresses in the past, it'll save right there as well. Down here you have web search. Now with web search, that is running off the Entune app suite that we downloaded earlier. So with web search, you have this map card that's loaded here on the right side underneath this button. With the map card, it has a set number of addresses in it, and I know with this specific map card it has addresses for up to 2016. So if there's any newer addresses that you're trying to get to, it won't be able to be typed into your navigation system because it doesn't recognize that address. So what you could do instead is click web destination search and type in the address here. It'll take the data off your phone and look up the address with the longitude and latitude and put it into this map card, so that way you can still get to that address even though it's not saved on this map card. You also have your phone button located here next to the CD. So you have all the contacts in here, all the call history is in here. If you click a little star next to anyone's name, it'll save it in your favorites list here. And you also have a dial pad on the right. This top right envelope is for text messages, so whenever you receive one, there's going to be a pop-up on the screen. It'll say read, ignore, or call the phone number that just texted you. If you click read, it'll read it out to you through the speakers. If you click ignore, it'll save on this list, and if you click call, it'll call that phone number. So down here you have traffic and weather buttons. They run off the HD radio signal. Keep in mind, if you're not close to an HD signal, those two buttons will not work. It'll say HD signal not available. The closest to Montgomery as far as HD signals would be in Prattville, and the other way would be LaGrange. So we're right in the center where it will not pick up an HD signal here. Now with the traffic button, if you click traffic event list, that'll list out all the roads nearby that might have traffic. You also have predictive traffic map that shows you a map of how the traffic's moving, and you can click this arrow, it'll predict up to 45 minutes on how it's going to look. Under weather, if you click current weather, it gives you temperatures and percentages. You have a 3-day option and a 6 to 12 hour option. You also have a weather map at the bottom that shows you a whole radar of where you're at. Under maintenance, you'll need your oil change every 10,000 miles. And you'll need your tires rotated every 5,000 miles. So it'll pop up and remind you whenever you need those done. Now these buttons here are also a part of the Entune app suite. You have Pandora, iHeartRadio, and Slacker all for music. Destination search and save destinations would be for your navigation. Movietickets.com looks up nearby theaters, showings, and showtimes. OpenTable, you can set reservations at restaurants. Facebook Places, you can check in at a location and tag your friends you're there with. Yelp is for reviews on anywhere you might be going. Sports, you can add your favorite teams, check on scores and standings. Stocks, you can add your favorite stocks and check on those as well. Under Fuel Guide, that gives you nearby gas stations, prices, and how far away they are. You can sort it from distance, price, or brand name. This is your home screen, so from here you have your audio. It'll tell you what radio station you're on. On the right side you have your navigation, and these 4 spots on the bottom left, you can select and hold those. It'll take you to your contacts to where you can set different speed dials from your contacts. So if I were to set somebody, he would show up there and I can click that button. It'll immediately start calling them instead of you having to go and look their phone number up. Down here you have your climate control settings. This is your fan. This changes the mode of the air, and then you also have your temperature control over here. This is in-air circulation. You have your AC button in the middle, and on the right you have your rear defrost. Your rear defrost also controls your heated side mirrors. Down here you have a 12-volt charger if you ever need that. Here is your 4-wheel drive options. So H2 is where you normally want to be. H4 is going to be your 4-wheel drive high speed, and then you have N for neutral. Whenever you put it in neutral here, you'll also want to put it in neutral with your gear shift, and then you can shift it up to 4-wheel drive low speed. On down here, you have your heated seats. This is your back window to let it open and close. Up here, this is your door switch to cut the lights on when the doors are open. Here you have these 1, 2, 3 spots. You can set garage door openers or gate openers for those if you have either. If you do have a garage door opener, what you would do is you would click and hold the remote that you usually have for your garage door opener, and you would click and hold this button here while you're right in front of the garage, and it will set for the garage door opener. Keep in mind, with older units, you may actually have to click on a button in the head unit of the garage, and then you'll have 30 seconds to get back in the car and click one of these buttons here. Here you have your rear differential lock. That's used if you're towing something, so it'll keep you straighter on the road while you're driving. This is your active traction control, which gives you more traction on your tires if you're off-roading. This is for your traction control in general. There's never a reason to turn it off, but if you ever need it, it is up here. Here you have your crawl options, so you can turn it on and off, and you can adjust the speed here. Over here, this is to turn on the mountainous terrains. So from here, you can change it from light all the way to heavy. Light has a camel right here, and then it goes all the way up to heavy, which is big rocks and boulders. Here you have your windshield wiper lever, so you can adjust the intermittent speed here. You also have this to twist to turn on the rear windshield wiper. If you twist this towards yourself, it'll do the misting for the rear windshield. And if you pull this lever towards yourself, it'll mist the front windshield. On the right side of the steering wheel, you have answer and decline. This is your voice command. You can tell the car to play certain radio stations, call certain people. You can enter in addresses with it. So pretty much anything you need through the screen, you can do through the voice command. Keep in mind, whenever you're putting in addresses for your navigation, you do have to be in park even if you use your voice command. So if you're driving, it will not let you put in addresses into the navigation. This display button changes this dash that's up here. So if you click on it a few times, it gives you different information about the vehicle that you may need to know. This lever right here is your cruise control. To turn it on, you just click this button on the end of the lever, and then a green light will pop up on the dash. Once you get up to the speed you want to set it for, you just bump this down and it'll set for that speed. If you want to cancel it, you can pull this lever towards yourself or hit the brake, and you can resume the speed you were going by bumping up. So on the left side of the steering wheel, you have these arrows here that control the radio. Up and down is your saved radio stations. Left and right is seek and track. Below that, you have the mode button. The mode button just changes from AM to FM to XM to Bluetooth and all the different sources you have for your radio. If you hold the radio or the mode button, it'll mute the radio. You also have plus and minus underneath that for volume of the radio. Back here, you have your headlight lever. So to turn on your headlights, you can set it to auto, and it'll automatically turn the lights on and off whenever it's day and light. You have DRL off, which is for daytime running lights. This one above auto is parking lights. The top one is full-on headlights. This middle switch is your fog lights. You have your left and right mirror adjuster here. This dial, you can adjust the brightness of the dash. If it's too bright for you, you can turn it down. And then down here you have your electronically heated windshield. If you click this button, it'll electronically heat the windshield up, so it works a lot better if you had ice on the windshield. You also have this 400 watt button over here. You have an outlet in the back of the truck, so if you want that outlet to work, you have to make sure your car is at least in accessory mode and click this button in order for that outlet to work. Here is your hood release, and here is your emergency brake. You just press it in and press it again to unlock it. Here is where your 3-prong outlet is, and you also have a 12-volt charger there as well. So this shelf here, basically it makes it easier to move things towards the back. So what you can do is you can press this lever, pull this tray out, And then from here you can load on any heavy objects that you may have. It'll hold up to 440 pounds. After you load everything on, you just press this lever again and push it back, so that way it can neatly fit in your truck without you having to shove across the carpet here. In the back here is where your jacks would be if you have a flat tire. Up here you have lights on either side of the hatch, so if you put it on door, it'll come on every time you open the hatch. Every vehicle currently sold at Reinhardt has 4 years, 45,000 mile no-cost maintenance. With that being said, we go ahead and set the first service appointment for every single customer for 5 months from the day of their purchase. Every 5,000 miles, you'll want the tires rotated. Every 10,000 miles, you'll want the oil changed. The customer can choose to change their day and time of appointment during the delivery, but they will get a phone call a week before the appointment is set, and they can choose to reschedule it then if they would like to. The reason why we do deliveries here at Reinhardt Toyota is to make sure every single customer is completely satisfied with their vehicle and knowledgeable about how it works. With every single customer that buys a vehicle from our dealership, they will receive an email a week after purchasing that will say your recent Toyota purchase on it. It will give you a link to our survey that asks you on a scale of unacceptable to truly exceptional how your experience was here. If you put truly exceptional on everything, we get 100, and that makes our CSI score go up, which is what we would like to accomplish.